Hello everyone, welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, for those of you who've been geeking out on the channel now for a while, you know that we've been doing a whole series of videos about this legislative session, sometimes focusing on all of the bills, sometimes focusing on individual bills. And yeah, there are some pretty extreme ideas kicking around in Olympia, and some of them are better than halfway to becoming law. Well, I thought it was important that we give you an update on all of that legislation. So today, let's talk for a few minutes about some quick updates about your gun rights from Olympia. Okay, before we get rolling, you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and click that like button down below. If you want to stay up to date on issues related to your Second Amendment rights, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Click the little bell logo if you want to be notified when we post new videos. And most importantly, let's keep the comments and discussions coming, especially on these legislative issues. We need to share our ideas and resources. Okay, so for those of you who have been watching some of the videos that we've been doing about the legislative session, you know that there are essentially 7 bills that are kicking around that could significantly affect your Second Amendment rights and the right for you to defend yourself. I'm going to take them in the order of kind of where they are in the legislative session and the ones that seem to be gathering the most attention right now. Let's start off with Substitute Senate Bill 5078. That is the high capacity magazine restriction. As we know, that bill has passed out of the Senate. It is already in the House. It had a public hearing. We'll put the link for the video we did about that down below. And it is went into executive session on February 18th. The executive session majority party, the Democrats, recommended that it be passed, and it is now back on the Senate floor for a second reading. I do believe that Senate Bill 5078 has a significant chance of being passed into law this year. Okay, let's now talk about House Bill 1705. We've done a video on that, a couple videos on that actually, and as you know, that would ban 80% lowers and all untraceable firearms. Now, that bill also had a public hearing. We'll put the link for the video we did down below about that. And it is now went back to executive committee on February 24th. The majority party in the executive committee, the Democrats, recommended that it be passed. It is now back to the Rules Committee for a second reading. So they might be fine-tuning it, but I do expect it to be back on the floor for a second reading soon in the Senate. This is already passed out of the House. This is in the Senate, and I think this piece of legislation has a significant chance of becoming law this year. Now, the next bill is one that we at Washington Gun Law haven't given you a lot of information about, but it is important for a certain category of individuals. That's Senate Bill 5561. That bill would kind of radically rewrite our firearms restoration statute. And for those of you who may currently not have Second Amendment rights due to a previous conviction, you need to carefully watch this bill because it is quite possible that you are eligible to restore those rights right now. And if this becomes law, you will not be eligible to restore. Some of you ever, some of you for a much greater period of time. Now, that has already passed out of the Senate. It is in the House. Now, this bill has seemed to hit a little bit of a stall going into executive committee where it was recommended to pass, but then it immediately got sent to the Rules Committee. So it was recommended by exec committee to pass on February 23rd, but on the 24th got sent back to the Rules Committee, and it seems to be ricocheting around there right now. So that bill seems to have stalled out, but it is better than 50% of the way to becoming law. So for those of you who are very interested in restoring your firearm rights, please pay careful attention to Senate Bill 5561. The next piece of legislation is House Bill 1630. This would, of course, restrict firearms. You can no longer have them at places where school district boards are meeting, school districts are conducting business, or anything of that nature. It's essentially an expansion on RCW 9.41.280. That bill already passed out of the House on January 25th. It is in the Senate right now. The executive committee in the Senate has also recommended that it pass, and it is now back in the Rules Committee for a second reading. 1630 is moving along at relatively the same clip as 5078 and 1705, and I do think that this has a significant chance of passing. Okay, and then 3 bills that really don't seem, at the current time, Friday, February 25th, don't seem to be picking up a lot of steam, but I do want you to be aware of them so we can all track them. Of course, there is Senate Bill 5217. Senate Bill 5217 would be a ban on assault rifles. Again, I know you're flipping out because I'm using the word assault rifle. That's the words that were used in the bill. That appears right now, knock on wood, is going nowhere. It had a public hearing on January 17th, and at that point there has been no other action on Senate Bill 5217. Candidly, I think what's going to happen is the Attorney General is going to add this to an initiative and try to run it through that way next election season. Okay, then there's House Bill 1618, which, if that was enacted into law, would prohibit firearms at any election location, places in which ballots are being counted, and so forth. I really did expect this piece of legislation to actually pick up some steam, but this went into executive session way back on January 21st, and since then, no action has been taken on House Bill 1618. It appears to be dying on the vine right now. And then finally, and this is really important, Senate Bill 5568, which would have allowed municipalities and counties to add restrictions to where firearms can be carried, but more importantly, it really was the first step in what would be the ultimate carving completely out of our state preemption law. So it was a very important bill to keep our eyes on. Now, that had its first reading way back on January 10th. It had a public hearing on January 17th. It was sent to exec committee, but then the exec committee has placed an X on the file. So I believe that this bill right now is not moving forward anymore. That's Senate Bill 5568. But we really do need to keep our eyes on that one because that one has some significant implications long-term for all of us. So that's a brief summary of where each of these 7 bills sit as of Friday, February 25, 2022. Listen, if you have any questions about anything going on this legislative session or any questions related to your Second Amendment rights, don't ever hesitate to contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now remember, part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we preach all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.